Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 185 based on novel. So let's start. The concept of time became extremely blurry within the completely quiet room as a sandalwood fragrance slowly drifted. It was filled with a scent that braced one's attention. Time quietly flowed by amid this atmosphere of leisure. 3 months. Xiao Yang sat in his retreat for 3 full months. Even he himself would not have expected it to take so long, but he had completely forgotten about time in his slumber. He had been submerged in the beautiful feeling of tempering his physical body. Xiao Yang quietly sat on the cold jade bed within the quiet room. His skin was revealing a faint purple color. It was vaguely possible to see a faint purple-red color under his skin. An extremely powerful fluctuation spread from this purple-red flow. The glow flickered. At this moment, this glow was spreading around Xiao Yang's body. Circular purple-red glows spread from his heart and reached every single corner of his body. This glow continued to flow around his body for 3 months. The 3 months of tempering dyed Xiao Yang's originally pale skin a purple-red color. Even his black hair had vaguely turned a little red. He appeared like demon with just a glance. Of course, it was not only Xiao Yang's outer appearance that had changed. His aura had also reached the true peak of an advanced 1-star Dosheng. A little more and he would be able to break through to the 2nd star of the Dosheng class. Having his body tempered by the bloodline was really benefiting Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang did not wake from his state of slumber after his aura reached the peak of an advanced 1-star Dosheng. Time slowly flowed by as Xiao Yang remained in this state of slumber. 91 days, 93 days, 97 days, 99 days. 100 days. Time passed by 1 day at a time. The moment the 100th day arrived, a strange rumbling sound suddenly appeared within the quiet room. This sound appeared like flowing water. If one's eyes searched for the origin of the sound, one would surprisingly find that it was being emitted from Xiao Yang, who was seated on the cold jade bed. The space around Xiao Yang violently fluctuated after the rumbling sound appeared. Waves of substance-like energies began to agglomerate into many clusters of wind that lingered around Xiao Yang and emitted a howling sound. The spinning wind increased its rotating speed. In the end, an increasing amount of energy poured into the quiet room and was absorbed by the vortex. The size of this vortex rapidly swelled. Bang! The hard quiet room was torn apart by that large wind at this moment. Glaring light shone in from outside. What is it? What happened? The energy vortex that had suddenly appeared on the Eastern Dragon Island was immediately detected by many experts. Many figures rushed forward. They appeared outside of the quiet room where Xiao Yang was at within a couple of flashes. Their eyes were filled with shock as they watched the energy storm that was wildly spinning. Do not panic. Everyone should return to their posts. A faint voice was emitted from the Dragon Hall while everyone was feeling surprised. A couple of figures hurried over and appeared in the sky. Those figures were Zi Yang and the Little Fairy Doctors group. The members of the ancient Void Dragon clan hurriedly bowed upon seeing Zi Yang. All of them began to slowly withdraw by some distance. I was wondering why he needed such a long time to recuperate. He is actually intending to break through. Zi Yang floated in the sky. She looked down at Xiao Yang, who was within the vortex, and laughed. The Little Fairy Doctor and Qing Lin by the side also quietly sighed in relief. They had been extremely worried in their hearts during these 3 months. If Zi Yang had not guaranteed that nothing would happen, they would not have been able to stop themselves from forcefully barging into the room. After all, the injuries that Xiao Yang had suffered this time around were too severe. Everyone had been worried that something untoward might have happened to him. Fortunately, the worst thing that they had imagined did not occur. On the other hand, Xiao Yang had ended up being blessed by this disaster. He had borrowed the bloodline strength within his body to make an attempt at reaching the 2nd star of the Dosheng class. Brother Xiao Yang is indeed an extraordinary person. He was merely an initial Dosheng a couple of months ago. Now, he is experiencing an opportunity to break through to the 2nd star. Yarrow Ming by the side also let out heartfelt praise. Although he would occasionally return to the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe during this period of time, had spent most of his time on the Eastern Dragon Island. It had been difficult for him to find an opportunity to grab onto a big support like the ancient Void Dragon. Naturally, he would attempt to find as many opportunities as he could, especially now that the Eastern Dragon Island was showing signs of reunifying the ancient Void Dragon tribe. While everyone in the sky was discussing Xiao Yang's transformation, the energy that poured into the vortex from the surroundings became even more terrifying. In the end, the vortex even became viscous. Drops of energy could vaguely be seen floating around the vortex. They gradually emitted a frightening fluctuation that altered the expressions of others while the vortex rotated. As an increasing amount of energy gathered into energy droplets, the energy vortex appeared to turn into an energy whirlpool. Within a short few minutes, the final bit of energy also agglomerated into a droplet of liquid and merged with the enormous whirlpool. Bang! The entire whirlpool began to violently tremble the moment the vortex transformed into a whirlpool. Soon after, Xiao Yang, who had descended into a 100-day slumber, suddenly opened both of his eyes. Two shocking purple-red lights shot out of them. The two purple-red lights shot toward the sky. Many of the members from the ancient dragon tribe on the Eastern Dragon Island felt a strange pressure from this purple-red light. The pressure originated from their bloodline. This is the pressure of the Dragon Emperor bloodline? Why would it appear in his body? The many members of the ancient dragon tribe were stunned because of this pressure. Surprise flashed over Zi Yang's face as she stood in the sky. She could sense a familiar feeling from within the light. It is the Dragon Phoenix bloodline strength. Moreover, it is mixed with some other energy. They were naturally unaware that Xiao Yang's bloodline strength was the merger of the Xiao clan's bloodline, the Jiyu clan's bloodline, and the Dragon Phoenix's bloodline. Thus, there would be a Dragon Phoenix sent to it. Xiao Yang widened his mouth abruptly while many exclamations sounded on the Eastern Dragon Island. Everyone quickly saw that enormous energy whirlpool turn into a water pillar that was devoured by Xiao Yang. Bang! The cold jade bed that Xiao Yang had been sitting on blasted into pieces after the final drops of the energy liquid were sucked into Xiao Yang's body. An unusually frightening aura slowly spread out of his body and covered the entire island. Success! Zi Yang's group slowly sighed in relief within their hearts after sensing the frightening aura. Their eyes were filled with joy. Who? Xiao Yang lifted his head and slowly exhaled a mouthful of viscous air. This air agglomerated together and turned into a drop of liquid that fell onto the cold jade dust below. A light flashed and those cold jade pieces of dust regathered into a stone platform. Moreover, there was an extremely shocking energy fluctuation being vaguely emitted from the platform. Xiao Yang stood up after letting out a long breath. He clenched his hand and an extremely powerful force spread from every cell within his body with lightning-like speed. What a strong physical body! Xiao Yang briefly sensed the condition of his body and a joy flashed across his eyes. After being tempered by his blood during these 3 months, the strength of his physical body would likely not be inferior to that of an ancient void dragon. I have really gained a blessing from disaster this time around. Xiao Yang's hand gently touched his chest. If he had not experienced a life and death battle this time around, the bloodline in his heart would not have activated, and he would have been unable to break through to the 2nd star of the Doshun class with such speed. His physical body would also not have been strengthened to such an extent. Moreover, Xiao Yang sensed that there was still some tendrils of purple-red blood flowing out of his heart and refining his body despite him not being in a slumber. Although the effect was much weaker, it was superior in terms of its longevity. This continuous temperament would likely end up quite terrifying as it accumulated. Ha, brother Xiao Yang, congratulations. You have once again made a breakthrough after a short few months. This kind of training speed really causes me to feel ashamed. A hearty laugh was transmitted from the sky while Xiao Yang was feeling slightly joyous about the changes in his body. Yarrow Ming's group descended from the sky and landed a short distance from Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang cupped his hands to Yarrow Ming. After which, his eyes shifted to Zi Yang. His heart sighed in relief after seeing that she had recovered. It seemed that Zi Yang had also recovered from her weak state back then. How long did this retreat of mine last? Over 3 months. It has just reached 100 days. The little fairy doctor smiled and replied. 100 days, Surprise flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes upon hearing this news. He suddenly asked, "Has the Alliance sent any news?" "Yes, some news was delivered a couple of days back. It was from Yarrow Larrow. He requests that you hurry back to the Falling Star Pavilion as soon as possible." The little fairy doctor's face revealed a grave expression. She looked at Xiao Yang and softly said, "The purifying demonic lotus flame is about to be born. It seems that the Hall of Souls has begun to act. Looks like they are planning to target the purifying demonic lotus flame." Xiao Yang slowly nodded. It was close to the time when the purifying demonic lotus flame would be born. Xiao Yang was already aware that the Hall of Souls would be unwilling to simply remain quiet. They would definitely try to snatch a mysterious natural object like the purifying demonic lotus flame. Since this is the case, we will head back to the Falling Star Pavilion today. We also need to discuss the matters regarding the demon flame. Xiao Yang's voice was a little deep. He had put in a lot of effort for this purifying demonic lotus flame. He would need to put in more since he would have to deal with the experts from the Hun clan. He needed to obtain the demon flame regardless of what happens. "Are all of you planning to return to the Central Plains? I will also accompany all of you." Zi Yang by the side smiled and informed everyone after hearing the conversation of Xiao Yang's group. Xiao Yang was slightly startled after hearing this news. He asked, "You are also leaving? The Eastern Dragon Island just experienced a big battle. Is it a good time for you to leave now?" Xiao Yang was naturally aware that Zi Yang was intending to aid him in obtaining the purifying demonic lotus flame. Xiao Yang's chances of success would undoubtedly rise if he was able to obtain the help of an expert who had reached the 4th star of the Do Sheng class, but the current Eastern Dragon Island. "It's fine. The 3 great dragon kings have suffered serious injuries this time around, and the Western and Southern Dragon Kings were crippled. There is no telling just how long they will need before they can recover their strength. The elders will resolve the matters of the Eastern Dragon Island appropriately." Zi Yang blinked at Xiao Yang and smiled as she replied, "You have aided me too much this time around. I must at least try to return the favor, right?" Xiao Yang hesitated for a moment after hearing Zi Yang's insistence. He finally nodded. The fight for the purifying demonic lotus flame would definitely involve the Hall of Souls. Moreover, the Hall of Souls would cease underestimating him. Hence, the experts they would dispatch would definitely be quite strong. It would be a lot safer if an expert of Zi Yang's strength accompanied them. "When are we going to leave?" Zi Yang's eyes revealed some excitement after Xiao Yang had relented. Her tone seemed to suggest that she could not wait to head out. Xiao Yang looked at her with a somewhat strange expression. Could it be that this girl had become irritated by having to stay on this Eastern Dragon Island and was using this opportunity to head out and relax? "Since there is no longer any issues to deal with, we should leave now. Additionally, Tribal Chief Yaroming, please help me watch over Cai Lin when you return to the 9 Serene Deep Ground Python tribe. Among the 3 hostages of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, we will first release Ju Feng. Otherwise, they might do something drastic in their anxiety. Kuan Feng and Ying Feng will continue to be detained on the Eastern Dragon Island. 2 Do Shengs are still able to restrain them. Additionally, the 3 Great Dragon Islands have suffered a miserable defeat. Even the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe will likely not dare to try to rescue them." Xiao Yang turned his head and smiled as he spoke to Yaroming. Although Yaroming was quite strong, he had only recently regained the tribal chief position. Moreover, he had even offended the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Naturally, he could not be away for too long. Hence, Xiao Yang did not request his help. "Aye." Yaroming smiled and nodded. He cupped his hands while facing Xiao Yang as he said, "In that case, I hope that your journey will be smooth." Xiao Yang grinned. He ceased speaking as he waved his sleeve. A spatial tunnel formed beside him. After which, he took the lead to slowly step into it. The others swiftly followed behind. Zi Yang swiftly gave some instructions before flying into the spatial tunnel in front of the helpless eyes of the first elder from the Eastern Dragon Island. Clouds lazily floated in the azure sky. Warm sunlight scattered down from the horizon, causing everything to fill with a laziness. Swoosh! Circular ripples suddenly appeared in the quiet sky as a spatial crack was also slowly being torn open. Many human figures slowly walked out of it. "I've finally left that damn island. Why in the world did those people shift to that kind of damn place in the past?" Zi Yang inhaled a deep breath of fresh air after exiting the spatial crack. She spread her arms. Her beautiful face appeared somewhat intoxicated. Xiao Yang's group faced each other after witnessing Zi Yang turn from the extremely imposing Dragon Emperor into someone with the characteristics of a little girl. They could only helplessly shake their heads. Despite becoming the Dragon Emperor, this girl still hid her character from back then within her. "Let's go. This area is already within the territory of the Alliance. We should be able to arrive at the Falling Star Pavilion soon." Xiao Yang's eyes looked around him. After obtaining his bearings, he waved his hand and swiftly led the way to the Falling Star Pavilion. The current speed of Xiao Yang's group could be described as terrifying. Within a short few minutes, many cities had begun flashing below them. However, Xiao Yang ended up frowning after seeing that many of these cities had been damaged. Clearly, they looked as though they had experienced many battles. Looks like it has not been peaceful within the Alliance during this period of time. This thought flashed through Xiao Yang's heart after capturing the situation along the way. His speed suddenly quickened as his body vanished into the horizon with a flash. Yarrow Laro, Ancestor Hu Yun, the first elder from the Pill Tower, and some others were all gathered within a large hall in the main building of the Falling Star Pavilion. Their expressions were a little gloomy. Clearly, their moods were bad. During this period of time, around half of the 300+ important cities within the Alliance have been attacked. Although these attacks might appear to be from various factions, there are experts from the Hall of Souls mixed among them. Yarrow Laro's eyes swept over the hall as he slowly stated. His eyes contained some fury while he continued, "The Pill Tower has also delivered a message. There has been an increase in the number of sneak attacks recently. Many alchemists have ended up disappearing after the sneak attacks. All of us should be clearly aware of who is behind this. These people from Hall of Souls are becoming increasingly arrogant." Ancestor Hu Yun's two fiery red eyebrows moved as he ruthlessly spoke. The first elder from the Pill Tower by the side also nodded with a grave expression. Even someone as calm as him had become a little furious by the Hall of Souls' despicable methods. Fortunately, the Alliance has already established patrolling guards. This has ended up preventing a lot of trouble from occurring. However, everyone in the outside world knows that the Hall of Souls has turned our Sky Mansion Alliance into a complete mess and filled us with fatigue. Some of the neutral factions that were planning to join the Alliance have been shaken by the methods of the Hall of Souls until they have begun to hesitate. This is bad for our reputation if this continues. Yarrow Laro commented on the situation. "What do you have in mind?" The first elder from the Pill Tower slowly asked. "We will do to them as they have done to us. They have attacked our cities. In that case, we will attack their branch halls." A chill flashed across Yarrow Laro's eyes as he spoke in a deep voice. "Oh!" The first elder from the Pill Tower and Ancestor Hu Yun were slightly startled upon hearing this. Although the Sky Mansion Alliance was quite strong, there was still a gap between them and the Hall of Souls, yet Yarrow Laro was planning on launching an attack. It had been many years since someone had attacked a branch hall of the Hall of Souls. After all, that was no different from pulling the tail of a tiger. Everyone was hurrying to hide from the Hall of Souls, given their fierce reputation. Who would dare head to their territory and fall into the other party's hands? Although the Hall of Souls is extremely powerful, many of their experts are located at their headquarters. Their branch halls are not as frightening as one might imagine. We will not need to be afraid of not dealing with them as long as we gather our strength. Yarrow Laro faintly smiled as he spoke. Currently, the Sky Mansion Alliance was indeed weaker than the Hall of Souls, but this gap was not extremely great. Although there was the Hun clan behind the Hall of Souls, there were also other ancient clans constantly monitoring them. Hence, there wasn't a need to worry about the Hun clan launching a big campaign to destroy the Sky Mansion Alliance. Xiao Yang possessed the Chu Shi ancient jade in his hands, and the Jiyu clan would definitely not simply idly watch the ancient jade fall into the hands of the Hun clan. Hence, the Jiyu clan would definitely not sit there if the Hun clan dared to attack. "Ha ha, Teacher's words are correct. It is not polite to not reciprocate the visit from another party. The Hall of Souls is too arrogant. Now is the time to suppress them a little. A clear laugh suddenly sounded within the large hall while everyone was pondering the plan. A gentle breeze blew as a couple of figures appeared in the hall. They were surprisingly Xiao Yang's group. Xiao Yang. Everyone was startled upon seeing this person before they revealed surprised expressions. You are finally back. Your aura? Ancestor Hu Yun laughed and chided. He was just about to stand up when he suddenly appeared to have discovered something. His expression was slightly startled as he stared at Xiao Yang and exclaimed, "Two-star Do Sheng." The first elder from the Pill Tower also swept his eyes over Xiao Yang. A moment later, he sighed and bitterly laughed. Within half a year, you have directly leaped from the initial one-star Do Sheng class to the second star. Are you purposefully trying to cause me to be too ashamed to show myself through this speed? Yarrow Larrow was a little stunned. Clearly, he had not expected Xiao Yang's strength to soar after having been away for half a year or so. However, he quickly turned his head and joyously fondled his beard. His eyes shifted slightly before they suddenly paused on Zi Yang, who was beside Xiao Yang. His expression finally became grave. He might only be a high-level Bansheng, but his spiritual strength was unusually powerful. He was able to sense just how terrifying Zi Yang was. Who is this? Yarrow Larrow stood up. He appeared quite grave as he cupped his hands to Zi Yang and inquired in a courteous manner. Ancestor Hu Yun by the side and the first elder of the Pill Tower seemed to have also detected this frightening person after Yarrow Larrow treated Zi Yang with a polite posture. A shocked expression surged within their eyes. How did Xiao Yang bring back such a powerful existence after leaving on a trip? Zi Yang was involuntarily a little embarrassed after seeing Yarrow Larrow being so polite. She had met Yarrow Larrow in the past, but back then, she still possessed the appearance of a little girl. Teacher, she is Zi Yang. You have met her before, Xiao Yang smiled and said, however, she is the Dragon Emperor of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. She is here to aid me in obtaining the purifying demonic lotus flame. The Dragon Emperor of the ancient Void Dragon tribe? The ancestor Hu Yun's and the first elder of the Pill Tower's hearts pounded violently upon hearing this title. Their eyes revealed some disbelief as they looked at Xiao Yang. They could not believe that he could befriend such a frightening existence. An existence like the Dragon Emperor of the ancient Void Dragon tribe was an extremely mysterious existence in the eyes of many people. Of course, even an ordinary ancient Dragon tribe member was legendary to some people. After all, the ancient Void Dragon tribe rarely came to the Central Plains. The ancient Void Dragon tribe was as mysterious and powerful as those ancient clans in the hearts of many people. The Dragon Emperor within the tribe was an existence like the clan head of the Jiyu clan or the Hun clan. This expert was someone even people as strong as Ancestor Hu Yun and the first elder of the Pill Tower had never met. Hence, they could not hide the shock that surged onto their faces after they heard that Zi Yang was actually the legendary Dragon Emperor. Ha, it is unexpected that Lady Zi Yang holds such an identity. This elderly self was indeed a little blind back then. Yarrow Larrow was startled by Xiao Yang's words. He only recovered a moment later before he solemnly cupped his hands and laughed. Zi Yang felt a little unnatural by Yarrow Larrow's politeness. She was aware that Xiao Yang viewed Yarrow Larrow like a father. She didn't want to display the so-called Dragon Emperor airs in front of him. Teacher, there is no need to be overly polite. You can simply treat her like the little girl in the past. Xiao Yang was also aware of Zi Yang's thoughts. He smiled and continued, since teacher has made this suggestion earlier, I think that you have already chosen a branch hall to attack, right? Yarrow Larrow's expression was a little grave upon returning to this topic. He said, after starting our full-scale investigation of the Hall of Souls, we have managed to gather a lot of information. The Hall of Souls has many branch halls in the Central Plains. There are 24 of them that are more important. The Hall of Souls calls them the Disha Halls. The branch hall that I had been imprisoned in back then was one of these Disha Halls. Disha Halls, Xiao Yang slightly nodded. This was something he had never heard about. Above the Disha Halls are the Tiangang Halls. These halls are more important to the Hall of Souls, Yarrow Larrow slowly said. The Tiangang halls are divided into heaven, earth, and man. The heaven hall is the headquarters of the Hall of Souls. We are currently unaware of its location. This time around, our target is the man hall among the Tiangang halls. Man hall, Xiao Yang muttered and asked. What is the strength of the man hall like? The earth hall is managed by the deputy hall chief while the man hall is managed by the first and second Tianzuan. Of course, we must not eliminate the possibility that the Hall of Souls has strengthened its defenses. Yarrow Larrow replied. That third Tianzuan died in my hands back then. The second Tianzuan, Saint Guu, is only a high-level Bansheng. I will not need to fear him if we meet again. Looks like we can take down this man hall, Xiao Yang faintly smiled. His smile was a little dark and dense. He truly hated the Hall of Souls. He had nearly died to these bastards many times over the years, but he had grown now. Perhaps he should take the initiative to collect a little of the old debt. Leave this matter of destroying the man hall to me. The Alliance still need experts to guard it to protect against any attempt by the Hall of Souls to do the same to us. Hence, I hope that Ancestor Hu Yun and the rest will guard this place. Xiao Yang's eyes shifted to Ancestor Hu Yun and the First Elder from the Pill Tower as he spoke. I shall accompany you. The location of the man hall is quite secretive. It would be difficult to find even if one has a map. Yarrow Larrow hesitated before he added. All right. Xiao Yang hesitated upon hearing Yarrow Larrow's statement before nodding. He had Zi Yang, a 4-star Do Sheng, beside him. There were not many experts within the Central Plains who could threaten them. Even the Hall Chief of the Hall of Souls would not be able to easily defeat Zi Yang and take all of their lives. In that case, all of you should rest for a few days. After that, we will head to the man hall. Yarrow Larrow fondled his beard. A fierce glint flashed through his eyes. He and Xiao Yang had to hide when they had been pursued by the Hall of Souls. Now, they were determined to cease hiding. How could their hearts feel comfortable if they did not take revenge 100 times over? Daddy. Xiao Yang looked at little Xiao Xiao, who was stepping through the air as she joyously ran toward him. He hurriedly stepped forward and hugged that little figure who had come flying over. A faint warmth spread from his heart. Daddy, where is Mummy? Little Xiao Xiao's large black eyes looked behind Xiao Yang. She looked in all directions in an attempt to find Cai Lin. Ha ha, Mummy is still training. She will return to little Xiao Xiao once she completes her training. Xiao Yang explained with a smile. He hugged little Xiao Xiao while an exclamation was suddenly emitted from his mouth. He discovered that the vast and mighty energy that had randomly been flowing within little Xiao Xiao's body had calmed down. The energy also vaguely flowed and changed according to her desire. Xiao Xiao's training talent is extremely great. Within half a year, she is already able to control the energy within her body. She can be considered a genuine elite Dozong. Yarrow Larrow by the side smiled and remarked. Dozong. Xiao Yang rubbed Xiao Xiao's small head. He involuntarily let out a bitter laugh. Back then, he had to train and experience many difficulties just to reach the Dozong class. In the end, Xiao Xiao did not need to do anything as she easily stepped to this level. Thinking about this really caused one to sigh. Moreover, she is extremely interested in pill refinement. I am planning to wait for her to become a little older before teaching her the flame mantra. After which, I will help her look for a heavenly flame and slowly familiarize her with it. The gaze that Yarrow Larrow used to look at Xiao Xiao was extremely doting as he laughed. You really dote on her too much. Xiao Yang was helpless. He handed Xiao Xiao in his embrace to the curious Zi Yang behind him. They stared at each other while Xiao Yang clenched his hand and a jade bottle appeared in it. There was a drop of golden liquid floating inside the bottle. An extremely frightening ripple was vaguely emitted from it. What is this? Yarrow Larrow's expression was slightly altered upon seeing the blood within the jade bottle. He could sense the terrifying strength within it. The essence blood left behind by an expert with half a step in the Do Di class, Xiao Yang smiled. He glanced at Yarrow Larrow and said, if teacher consumes it, it should be possible for you to swiftly reach the first star of the Dosheng class. Yarrow Larrow carefully received the jade bottle. He flipped the jade bottle around and observed it for a long time. He was a little hesitant. This thing was far too precious, and it would benefit Xiao Yang more. I have already consumed it. It will not do much if I consume it again. Teacher should train for the next few days. We will head to the man hall after you complete your training, and then we will eliminate it from the central plains. Xiao Yang smiled. He turned around and pulled both Zi Yang and Xiao Xiao out of the hall before Yarrow Larrow could utter another word. Yarrow Larrow stared at Xiao Yang's back. He let out a bitter laugh a moment later. After which, he clenched the jade bottle in his hand. A warmth filled his heart. Xiao Yang remained in the Falling Star Pavilion the next few days. Having nothing to do, he began to pass on some of his Do skills to Xiao Xiao. The shocking talent that she displayed caused Xiao Yang to feel completely astounded for the first time. It was likely that only she could be described as a true genius. His so-called young genius title back in Wu-Tan City was insignificant when compared to the current Xiao Xiao. Xiao Yang properly enjoyed the feeling of being a father for 5 days. That feeling would cause him to occasionally feel like he truly matured. His current self was no longer that reckless tender youth from back then. Instead, he was a true giant-like existence. Yarrow Larrow, who had been in a retreat, finally appeared in front of Xiao Yang on the 6th day. Yarrow Larrow's overflowing aura let Xiao Yang know that he had broken through to the first star of the Dosheng class. Xiao Yang was not surprised by Yarrow Larrow's breakthrough. Yarrow Larrow boasted a good foundation. With his accumulated strength and the Demon Saint Essence blood, it was only natural for him to reach the first star of the Dosheng class. Xiao Yang's group quietly disappeared from the Falling Star Pavilion on the 2nd day after Yarrow Larrow's had broken through. Only a small group of upper echelons were aware that the Sky Mansion Alliance was retaliating against the Hall of Souls. The Burial Mountain Range was located at the intersection between the western and southern regions of the Central Plains. Due to its terrain, this place contained an extremely dense, dangerous aura. That dark aura was mixed with a rich corpse scent because most of the people within a 500-kilometer radius were buried in this place. Hence, this Burial Mountain Range was a strange mountain range that was built with tombs. It was difficult to find any human figures under normal circumstances. No one would be willing to stay in a place covered in a ghostly aura. Swoosh! The rushing sound of some wind suddenly appeared in the Burial Mountain Range's quiet sky. Rays of light flashed above as a couple of figures appeared in a flash on the top of a mountain deep within the mountain range. Their eyes were locked on the deepest part of the mountain range. There was a distortion in space hidden behind a large grey-colored tree. The Man Hall of the Tiangang Halls is in the deepest part of the Burial Mountain Range. However, they placed a spatial barrier here. They will detect it the moment someone enters. Yarrow Larrow pointed at the deep region as he explained. Xiao Yang slightly nodded. He glanced at Zi Yang. She smiled and gently waved her sleeve. The space around the distortion suddenly fluctuated before it turned into an enormous spatial barrier that completely covered the area. This time around, there is no need to leave any survivors. Xiao Yang slightly raised his head. A dense expression appeared on his face. Hall of Souls, this revenge has finally come over a decade later. It isn't too late, is it? This video will end here.